Hello Manchester United fans. Man United news, Ruben Amorim gets injury boost as Bruno Fernandes calls out teammate. Manchester United are fully focused on their all-important Europa League semi-final first leg against Athletic Bilbao on Thursday after getting a last-gasp draw at Bournemouth. Manchester United are fast approaching crunch time in their 2024-25 season with the first leg of their Europa League semi-final against Athletic Bilbao on the horizon. United have been in rotten form in the Premier League where they sit 14th but know the Europa League can offer redemption. Victory in the Europa League final on May 21st will provide a place in next season's Champions League, something that could be key in them attracting players in the summer transfer window. As they showed in their 1-1 draw against Bournemouth on Sunday, United remain an extremely limited side which has now gone 5 games without a win in the Premier League. But beat Athletic Club over 2 legs and then beat Tottenham or Bodo/Glimt in the final and the campaign will look very different. That is the focus for Ruben Amorim, who is preparing his players for the trip to northern Spain for Thursday's match. Thankfully, he has received some good news to start the week. Triple injury boost. Amad Diallo, Matthijs de Ligt and Toby Collier are expected to return to training this week, handing Amorim a timely boost. United have been hindered by injuries this season but need as many players as they can get for the Athletic Bilbao games. Amad has not played since the 2-0 win over Leicester on February 7th due to an ankle injury, but started training by himself last week and could be given some minutes against Brentford on Sunday with a view to playing in the Europa League semi-final second leg on May 8th. De Ligt has missed 7 games while Collier has been sidelined with a small issue sustained earlier this month. Amorim will play a weakened team against Brentford on Sunday with the game coming just 65 hours after the first leg finishes in Bilbao. Fernandes dig at Højlund. Bruno Fernandes has demanded more from Rasmus Højlund after he scored in the draw at Bournemouth. Højlund has endured a poor season but will be needed against Athletic Club with Joshua Zirkzee injured and Cheeto Obi ineligible. Strikers are about scoring goals and we all know that. He knows the responsibility of being the number 9 of United and he has to score goals. That's the demand of a club like this, not only for him, but for everyone else, Fernandes told MUFC. Everyone that plays here who has the qualities to get into the box to score goals has to do it. Today it was Rasmus and everyone is very happy to see a striker scoring and hopefully it's going to give him a little bit of a push for what's coming. Amorim's reality check. Amorim says the plan is to get United back to a place where they can challenge for the Premier League title. But he emphasized that he is not crazy and that he knows it will. Marcus Rashford to have scan on injury ahead of Aston Villa decision on Manchester United forward. Marcus Rashford has picked up a hamstring injury and the Man United forward is in a race against time to play for Aston Villa before the end of the season. Marcus Rashford will undergo a scan on his hamstring injury in the next few days as he faces a race against time to play again for Aston Villa before the end of the season. The 27-year-old isn't expected to need surgery on the injury and a scan later this week will assess how the hamstring is healing and shed more light on whether the on-loan Manchester United forward can play again this term. Rashford missed Villa's FA Cup semi-final defeat to Crystal Palace at Wembley on Saturday and has been ruled out of their Premier League fixtures against Fulham and Bournemouth, with Unai Emery's side seeking to get back in the hunt for a top 5 finish and a return to the Champions League. Villa face Tottenham on Sunday, May 18th, and Rashford could be back fit to feature in that game. However, that is complicated by Spurs' attempts to get the fixture moved. In a statement on Sunday, they said that they were in discussions with the Premier League around moving the game, which is currently scheduled for 3 days before the Europa League final in Bilbao. Tottenham can book a spot in the final if they beat Bodo/Glimt and they would like the league fixture at Villa Park moved to give them more time to prepare. If that game is moved forward into midweek, then it will make it more unlikely that Rashford will be able to play. The United Academy graduate is then ineligible to play against his parent club on the final day of the season at Old Trafford because of the loan agreement with Villa. Since his January move to Villa, Rashford has impressed, scoring 4 times and registering 5 assists in 17 appearances, 10 of which have been starts. The loan agreement includes an option to buy for £40 million. Last week, United head coach Ruben Amorim said Rashford would return to the club at the end of the season. However, he isn't expected to play again under the Portuguese, having been banished from the first-team squad in December. All the players that are on loan, they will return and then the club will decide what to do at the end of the season, said Amorim. Man United may have to cave in on Antony transfer despite everything possible, vow. Manchester United stand to make a big loss on Antony if they sell the former Ajax star this summer, and Real Betis could struggle to even meet the winger's current price tag. Real Betis chief Manu Fajardo insists the La Liga outfit will do everything possible to sign Antony on a permanent basis. But it seems unlikely they will be able to meet Manchester United's €50 million £42.8 million asking price for the winger. Antony, 25, has enjoyed a remarkable renaissance since moving to Spain, where he has registered 9 goal contributions in 18 games. He has looked far more at home with his loan club than at United, where he has struggled to replicate the dazzling form that convinced Erik ten Hag and the previous regime to splash out £81 million on him. Speculation over the Brazilian's long-term future has grown in recent weeks, and Betis have made no secret of the fact that they would like to keep him. But amid claims that the club's president has made a personal vow to sign Antony permanently, it's thought that Real Betis are unable to afford the price tag United have placed on the former Ajax star. As such, Betis could attempt to strike another loan deal with United if they cannot reach an agreement over a transfer fee. Fajardo confirmed over the weekend that Real Betis were determined to find a way to keep Antony at the club in some fashion in the wake of his stunning impact since moving on loan in January. He said, "It is a source of satisfaction on a personal level to have brought Antony to Real Betis, but it is the result of teamwork. Although I am responsible for the sporting management, there are many people involved in this signing. It's still early, but we will try in different ways to do everything possible to continue enjoying Antony." If Real Betis do get their way and sign the winger permanently, then that could involve Manchester United ceding ground slightly when it comes to their demands. Even at their current asking price, the Red Devils stand to make a huge loss on a player who starred under Ten Hag in the Eredivisie, which is far from ideal when the club are looking to raise funds to facilitate a summer overhaul. Despite being offloaded by the Dutchman's successor, Ruben Amorim, Antony was full of praise for the United manager recently, telling ESPN Brazil, "I've only had a short time working with Amorim, but he's a very good coach. A very intelligent coach. United are going through a difficult time at the moment, but he's a good coach. I had a good relationship with him, but I needed a new challenge, and I wish him all the luck in the world in this final stretch of the season." Arne Slot turned down chance to sign Man United star last summer for one reason. Arne Slot was keen to sign a deep-lying midfield player ahead of his first season as Liverpool head coach, but the club turned down the chance to buy a Manchester United target. Liverpool were offered the chance to sign Manuel Ugarte before the Uruguay star moved to Manchester United last summer. It has emerged. But the Reds had no interest in pursuing anyone else after missing out on their top target, Martin Zubimendi. It turned out to be a quiet first transfer window for Arne Slot, who completed deals for Federico Chiesa and Georgi Mamardashvili, the Georgia goalkeeper who will arrive at Anfield this summer, after Zubimendi had a dramatic change of heart at the 11th hour over a transfer from Real Sociedad. Slot solved his number 6 search by nudging Ryan Gravenberch back into a deeper position, and the rest, as they say, is history. But not before mulling over the prospect of signing Ugarte. The Reds passed on such a move, though, with Slot wanting a technical number 6 with the ability to pick the right pass in moments of pressure. There was no interest in pursuing a panic buy, and as such Ugarte stayed in Paris until Manchester United struck a deal with the French champions later in the window. Ugarte moved to Old Trafford for a deal worth £42 million and has endured a mixed maiden season in the Premier League, with United struggling badly under Erik ten Hag and his successor Ruben Amorim. While Ugarte has shown glimpses of why Ten Hag was so keen to sign the midfielder before his sacking back in October, Liverpool legend Graham Souness doesn't appear to be overawed with the midfielder, given he recently questioned United's decision to offload Scott McTominay. The Scot has gone on to enjoy a fine season with Napoli while United have floundered, with Souness telling the Mail, "Oh, how Manchester United must regret selling Scott McTominay. He's a fantastic modern footballer. A high-energy, box-to-box workaholic who chips in with important goals. He was 27 years old and not hurting United with his wages when the club's decision-makers thought it was a bright idea to sell him to Napoli for £25 million. They'd gone out and spent £58 million on an aging, 30-year-old Case Miro and paid him £370,000 a week, and another £42 million on Manuel Ugarte. Collective transfer fees of £100 million. Would someone at United please hold their hand up and say, "This was my shout"? Because it's been an atrocious piece of judgment.